Watch these guys play children in the markets. They say in 1 John 3:9 that it is the body that sins, not their spirit, which stays sealed, that it cannot sin. So they are saying that they have no sin. Yet that violates 1 John 1:8, where if you say you have no sin, you deceive yourself and the truth is not in you. Now, to fix this contradiction, they will play the spirit against the body to suit their purpose. Children in the markets was explained by Jesus in Matthew 11 and Luke 7, where the Pharisees would justify themselves one way one day, but then would justify themselves the exact opposite way the next. Jesus compared this to the children because they would pretend to play mournful music as if in a funeral procession, but if the other kids did not play along and mourn, they would switch up to happy music to get them to dance. In other words, they played both sides of the fence. Jesus is saying that your wisdom is determined by all her children, meaning, like the Pharisees did, they obviously are rejecting God. So watch how they do it. In order to fix their contradiction in 1 John, they will say 1 John 3:9 is talking about the born-again spirit, sealed with righteousness, staying pure, that it is just the body sinning. So when they teach 1 John 1:8, they say, see, if you say you have no sin as in your body sinning, you deceive yourself, but that is not the context. Notice 1 John 1:6. They were claiming Jesus, yet walking in the darkness of continual sin. It is these people saying they have no sin. In other words, that the sin they were doing would not eternally doom them because their spirit remains holy. They then back this up by switching over to the Spirit to justify 1 John 3:9. That is nothing more than Gnostic dualism, where you play the Spirit being good against the body being bad to justify doing what you want. Paul says through the born-again Spirit you mortify the deeds of the body because you now have the law of the Spirit of life in Christ Jesus as your nature. So if you choose to and put into motion the stopping of sin, you cannot sin. Nothing can make you sin. This is what 1 John 3:9 is saying, that if you do not sin because you are born of God, then you cannot sin because you are born of God.